Well, good morning, everyone. It's the Neutral Zone. Good morning. July 21st, 2025. Holy mackerel, the year just runs by. Hey, everyone, how are you? We have a guest that might be a few minutes late, it appears. I'm looking forward to his visiting and being part of our show. He was on here some years ago. A very dynamic and interesting man that I think everyone will know when they see him. And if you don't, you're going to really appreciate our new guests here today. I just can't help but notice today as I walked in here, I was thinking about Lisa Darcy. Lisa Darcy has been an advocate for houseless people for a number of years. ShareYourMana.org. And my Facebook feed got filled up. The county did a sweep down at Amala Place, which is that area across from the waste processing plant in Kahului. And they've swept there a couple of different times, and they've been sweeping all around this island for houseless people and their things. And when there isn't adequate place to put everyone, and a lot of people don't fit into the few different kinds of choices that there are, even if there were room, things are out of control. So I hope to have her back on with a progress report. Next week we're going to do a repeat of this show, probably. Some things going on that we're going to let a week go by and double our pleasure. Let's see who just did that. Maybe it's our guest. Let's see. We go in and we see no. Someone who said, "What do you mean?" That's not it. Why that? Anyway, houselessness, homelessness, housing programs, solutions. We need solutions. I'm going to give you a quick one. Now, this is very quick. There are a lot of people with billions of dollars that have houses here, that have all kinds of things here. And even if they're not here, they have. Well, let's just pick one. Let's pick Jeff Bezos. He's pretty out and available. He has quite a bit of money. Let's imagine that he took a fund and he wants to put it into equity sharing in development of single-family and multifamily homes. That equity sharing would allow him to make the monthly rent low enough that people that want to be owning can get involved, and over time they would own the house and could buy it from him anytime outright. So his income would come all the time, and anything that would become a loan to make that all happen would be paid back. And over time, whatever he owns and owns more, and his financial statement really doesn't get impacted very much at all. Meanwhile, we're able to house many, many people. I think that we should get wealthy people. I'm just picking. They can do it voluntarily. That's why I'm reactivated my real estate license. Whether I'm representing a buyer, a seller, or we refer it to agents that are specialists in all the different areas of this island and all the islands, and then in our referral commissions, I give 60%, the maximum I can give by law, into the nonprofit to promote art and music and culture and do live shows. And that, along with monies that are contributed along the way and products from all the people involved in this, artists, musicians, healing art, environmental, all kinds of stuff, will fuel funds to really dig in the environmental movement and implement some of these solutions that are on the cutting edge, so we become a destination for cutting edge technology in progress and process that's funded by the activity of the people here, including people that buy and sell real estate. If I were going to do all the deals, it would be crazy, but by being able to refer it to agents that specialize in different areas and have different talents, we can match people up And then the money that we make directly goes into creating shows all across the island and islands and showcasing important things and developing local activity so that this money is regenerated into our island. Regenerate Maui. We're a couple of weeks away from the second year anniversary of the fire in Lahaina. It's hard to imagine it's 2 years later. It's still, the tourism is a fraction of what it was before. A small fraction. I hear all these reports from wherever, but then the bottom line of what I see, maybe in the hotels it's 60%. I don't know what their percentages are, but when you go down the streets, first of all, there is no Lahaina, but if you go down the streets, you don't see the kind of traffic flow that used to be Maui, and can be again, but we want to do it intelligently here, but we want to serve the local people, the houseless people, the people with low income, to be able to create a way to have ownership if they want it, or rent. Obviously, they can rent, but we need a crisis solved in both of those areas, and it seems that if we rely on things like taxes, we're limited, and we create enemies in the same breath by raising taxes on people who are going to come here. At some point, they're going to say, I don't want to come there. My God, the prices are not only crazy, but they have all these taxes to try to... We can do it ourselves. It's just a matter of will. That's what I think. Anyway, check out dreammaui.com. You'll see what I mean. Or mauicoastproperty.com. Or exoticpropertyhawaii.com. All that stuff leads to one thing, an integrated action plan. Promote art, music, culture, environment. Raise the money through real estate sales. Raise the money through actual contributions. Raise the money through creating funds in special arrangements with very wealthy private parties. And I like to think of that thing that Jesus said in the Bible. It's not my quote, but we remember when they said, hey, give to Romans what they want, and we have something else. We're going for something else. A higher and more thoughtful and caring world through a different route. And that's what we're trying to do here, and be an example to the world. No matter how much funding gets cut off, if we deal on a local level like I just spoke about, we are not going to see that same impact. We're going to see exactly the opposite. Cooperation at new levels and everything working because we are regenerating. Many times I think people think, as we make money, we save it for later, for our children, for our grandchildren. I have to build this empire. I think that's not a bad thinking, except right now we need that money regenerated into current activity, or there will be no future. We're at that point. We've done it to ourselves as a society. I heard something. In fact, I'll play it for you. The physics and chemistry department at the Nobel Committee for Nobel Peace Prize, they had something to say. This guy, Rick Hinton is his name. Rick, I think it's not. It's close to that. Let me see if I can find it right here. Ray Hinton, R-E-Y, Hinton. Here's what he said. It's a couple of minutes. Listen to this.
Your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, dear laureates, ladies and gentlemen. This year, the Nobel Committees in Physics and Chemistry have recognized the dramatic progress being made in a new form of artificial intelligence that uses artificial neural networks to learn how to solve difficult computational problems. This new form of AI excels at modeling human intuition rather than human reasoning, and it will enable us to create highly intelligent and knowledgeable assistants who will increase productivity in almost all industries. If the benefits of the increased productivity can be shared equally, it will be a wonderful advance for all humanity.
Isn't that something?
Unfortunately, the rapid progress in AI comes with many short-term risks. It has already created divisive echo chambers by offering people content that makes them indignant. It is already being used by authoritarian governments for massive surveillance and by cybercriminals for phishing attacks. In the near future, AI may be used to create terrible new viruses and horrendous lethal weapons that decide by themselves who to kill or maim. All of these short-term risks require urgent and forceful attention from governments and international organizations. There is also a longer-term existential threat that will arise when we create digital beings that are more intelligent than ourselves. We have no idea whether we can stay in control, but we now have evidence that if they are created by companies motivated by short-term profits, our safety will not be the top priority. We urgently need research on how to prevent these new beings from wanting to take control. They are no longer science fiction. Thank you.
Did you catch that? I heard that and I thought, here we're all enjoying this new renaissance of AI and being able to use tools that make things easier for us and make it easier to know less and have it spit out something to create brilliance and get people thinking they're more clever because they were able to come and find an answer through a short way. I remember in high school when I had a yearbook signing, my chemistry teacher wrote in my yearbook, "The easiest is not always the best." You know, we know that is true. I remember when people used to read books, and then they liked the synopsis version because it was quicker. And then they were able to do things, and things got done quicker. And now you're able to put in an idea, it'll structure it, give you ideas, chapters. You can write a book in 20 minutes, put it up on the net, sell it for X price, and do it again and do it again. And now you go up there on social media, you don't know, half of the social media is AI beings and AI responding to you and filling in your day with something that isn't even human. And we see all our everything getting duplicated, and we think oh no, someone's stealing my account. It's crazy out there. That's AI. Well, that's the fun part, if you want. But what about, it has great uses. It can be done to accelerate in all these industries. That's what they were just saying. I thought that was well stated. And then he stated something really critically important, that if we don't legislate, that means somehow monitor close enough that when we create these special AI beings that are intended to make us smarter, at some point they become smarter than us and they take over. They're smarter than us and we're not protected. That is super important, and recognizing that if we look back in history, we see how many civilizations went down through their own creations, through their own doing, whether it's physically or what we're doing to the environment. We can look back in history and see it all. Many times before, what we see, in the microcosm is also in the macro, and it's all happening all at the same time. I mean, we just listen to that and we think about the world now. Who would ever thought that we'd have a president that was a convicted felon on multiple counts, that has more power than most anyone in my calculated history, except for dictators? What's going on here? What's happening with our economy? All this stuff. But we locally here in Maui and in Hawaii have an opportunity, because we are so remote, maybe, or maybe because we know that there was a culture that was here before that with their own resources had a successful, thriving culture. Do we take the wisdom from the old and marry it with the new wisdom and come out with something better? Something that elevates concepts that work in a natural way? versus things that are artificial. Quite a time we're living in, It's said that we're all back here by our design, or people that don't believe in reincarnation. And it's just, here we are. This is just the pick of the universe. We got here because we got here. And here we are. Well, whatever your belief systems, here we are now in a world that, depending on where you look, selfishly, anyone can accumulate, but clearly, when you die, you're not accumulating anything, right? Physical things, what's that? Gone. So when we're here on Earth, you'd think that this would be a time to be reflective, to, I guess, coming from a, quote, good perspective, do things to serve others and make it easier and better for all people. But it seems that there's lots of people that take advantage, become us and them, separate, isolate, alienate. Does it sound like the world we're living in? It sounds like the world that steps on each other thinking that's the way they're going to get to the right thing for them, but the others don't matter. We all matter, and we all know that. Don't think we don't know that. If those people that pretend to not know what being good is just aren't self-reflecting. If they self-reflected, they would know how they feel about if they were in that need, in that desire, what they would want. Some people call it enabling. Oh, you're enabling someone. They should be doing it and earning it. Well, our whole society has been shifting. We're making it easier to enable all kinds of things. Quality of the work you do, the way you think, the way you retrieve information, the way you get information. Everything's just changing and creating conditions to create a weaker and less in-depth individual. Well, that's sort of what's going on. More people. I don't know where my guest may be. Maybe I did need to remind him. I don't know. But at 18 minutes after, I would say he's not coming until we schedule him again. Because he's an important guest. Everyone's an important guest, but I like speaking to people that I've spoken to before who can come and check in and say, okay, when last I was here, it was 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 2 years ago, and the world and conditions in my world was like this. Here's where it is now. And that's what I'm going to be doing, revisiting some of the ones that are still around and still alive that can let you know. Well, I don't do this only, but, if I had Alice Lee sitting here, I'd remind her of when she gave me an endorsement on this Maui Arts and Music Association project right before the Cultural Center was opening, when I was planning on doing an opening event. But again, things happen. And politics and fear and whatever changed things, delayed things. I'd like to get Alice's endorsement now. I could probably go in that direction and may soon, but I also know that the direction that's the most powerful is the audience. That's you. All of you out there know that the only way we're going to see change is if we do it. That doesn't mean violence. It means we do it, not angry. We do it. We are in service. By being in service to each other, we can solve all these problems that we hear about. I went to see with Miss Ariel last night, or yesterday afternoon, Come From Away. It was the story how 13 or 38, whatever, planes were rerouted to Gander, Newfoundland, and how they stayed there for a number of days and doubled the number of people in town. And it was an experience that resulted in love and support. And, we see crisis can do that. It can do all kinds of things. But we also see that other side of man, that one who's suspect and doesn't trust. And we just know now's the time to be our best selves and reach out in ways that make things better. When you see someone that's hurting and you can help them, help them. Don't point them down the road to help. Down the road to help may already have been extinguished. So that's what we saw there in Gander, Newfoundland, after 9/11 and the whole thing going on that day. And after the fires in Lahaina, that's what we saw here. We saw an amazing core of people. Some of them you're going to see on this show. We have a series called West Side Stories coming on. You'll be seeing it. Hopefully you'll see it on PBS or, who knows, NBC. The real story of what happened before the agencies came in and how things got handled by local people learning to cooperate. Sometimes with some challenge initially in different ways, but the level of cooperation and help that went out here in Lahaina after the fire can't be rivaled anywhere that I've ever heard. And I want to salute the people of Maui, people of Lahaina and the West Side for sure. They're still suffering now 2 years later. And with all the different programs cutting out money, wouldn't it be interesting if every time I sold a house or an agent sold a house that got referred through us, we're plugging money into creating jobs, plugging money into doing things that regenerate our island and our quality of life here. And in that, things are going to be better for everyone. Anyway, that's the model I like to take. Well, I'm sorry our guest isn't here, but I was going to talk about all kinds of things today with him. Instead, I think I'm going to switch and have a little fun. I'm going to go to a song that I remember. Maybe you remember. When I heard it, I thought, someone needs to rewrite these lyrics to the current day. But listen to this one. I know you've heard this song. Let's ask Mick. Not Mick Fleetwood. Mick Jagger.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. So many men sold away. And I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain. Made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands and sealed his face. Pleased to meet you. Hope you.
Oh, I cut it off. We're going to stop that. We'll do it again. There we are. Now I know I can't call my guest and ask him where he is. It's worth listening to again.
I've been around for a long, long year. So many men sold away. And I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain. Made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands and sealed his face. Pleased to meet you. Hope you get my name. But what's puzzling you is the nature of my game. I stuck around St. Petersburg when I saw it was a time for a change. Killed the czars and his ministers, Anastasia screamed in vain. I rode a tank, held a general's rank when the blitzkrieg raged and the bodies stank. what's puzzling you is the nature of my game. Oh yeah. I watched with glee while your kings and queens fought for 10 decades for the gods they made. I shouted out who killed the Kennedys when after all it was you and me. Let me introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste, and I laid a trap for troubadours who get killed before they reach Bombay. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Oh yeah, but what's
Yeah. What's puzzling you is the nature of my game. Well, there could be new verses written since those Rolling Stone days. When was that? That was in the early 60s, wasn't it? So here we are, more than 50 and 60 years later. We're seeing again harsh realities being carried out. I don't want to say in the name of, I don't know what it's in the name of. You know, you can take something that's a color and look at it and describe it in many ways. In relation to what? You know, everything is crazy. We're in an unpredictable world. The only thing we can predict is what we choose to do. If we do that, we can predict a beautiful future. If we don't, and we don't understand this time to be the most important time in history. Why? Because it's now. Because the reality of now is we need to be different. We need to search deeper. We need to protect our own integrity as beings and not put ourselves in a position where something we create destroys us. Isn't that incredible to say? But here we are on the edge of the collapse of our civilization by things that we create. As they say, I also hear, let them. We only can do what we can do. Well, let's see what we can do about doing that. Because until the end might come through something from outside, from here, inside meaning on Maui, in Hawaii, you're here, you're a consumer, you're a user, a worker, whatever you want to label yourself. We can each put a spin on things, a good spin, make things better, find ways to help someone that you see coming across your path. It's going to be a better world. Speaking of better worlds,
every day worlds are born and worlds die away. Seems like now the world's so small, we see it all right here on our TV. Seems like the more we bridge the distance, the harder it becomes for us to see. Well, if all the world's a stage, we're actors in a play with an ancient script of fear and doubt and greed. To write another page, to find a better way. Reverence for life is what we need for peace in our world, for peace in our country, for peace on our street, peace in our house. It starts with peace in our hearts.
Peace in Our Hearts. That was written by Louise Lambert, who is a extraordinary piano player. She is really versatile, and she also teaches voice and all kinds of music. She's just a great lady. That song is decades old and was a hit at a festival up in Canada. I don't know where it was in the charts up there, but I am thinking it's destined to be coming again here, because I'm going to do my best to make that happen. I'm going to play another song that I think you probably, if you've listened to this show, maybe you've heard it. It's written by Lono. Lono is over in Molokai. Many people know him. He's been a performer for many years. He also has an ukulele camp that he does over there and teaches. So, but this is written long ago, and it was written, and I thought, this is a great to be married song. Watch this. Listen to this. Then I Do. There is no other one. What I feel here for you, holding you in my arms, cradle you with my love. You're all dressed in white. Look into your eyes. Tell all the world tonight I'll be falling. You're my shining star. From this day on, I'll be your friend. I'll be by your side. Blessed are we this night. Shower us with God's love. Will you be mine tonight? Giving you all my love. And as we look back on our wedding day, this band of gold that we will share, never-ending love for all my life, then I do. Ooh. Wow, how did that track snack? It snuck on there without lyrics. How funny. Well, there's a video just posted by my guest. Well, being that it's just been posted, that means he doesn't even realize that he wasn't here. So I will schedule him a couple of weeks out. Like I say, next week we're going to repeat this show probably. If we're going to repeat it, let's repeat something else that's really worthwhile. Here's a song, a great song. It was the theme song of our show early on when we were doing Mama Presents. This was the theme song from Lono.
No matter where you go, no matter what you do, take that Maui style with you. Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in your heart.
one brother. There is love in this family. Pick yourself up and get on your feet. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Pohokela styling, Nakaibalu styling, Hawaiian styling, Kihei styling, Mawamaula styling, Lahaina styling, Laiula styling, Napili styling. Don't stop me now, Maui styling. We will all reach the finish line. The six of us, no one left behind. We're all winners.
You feel them all in the boat? They're canoeing in the race. What a great pace of, huh?
Love in your Maui heart.
Yeah, well,
Don't stop me
great
now.
rhythm.
Maui styling, don't let me down. Maui
Win a
styling,
race.
don't let me down. Maui styling, don't let me down. Maui styling, don't let me down. Makena styling, up country styling, Campo styling, Kahanapali styling, Hana styling, Waiehu styling, Bahia styling, Keanai styling, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Maui styling, don't stop me now. Maui styling.
Wow. Every time I hear those songs, I just get the chills because I know they're really still, they're still current. They still are current. Listen to this one. It's a while ago. Pu'u Ohoku. Thank you, Lono.
I set my eyes on the mountainside. Can I be there? Can I be with you? We climb high into the clouds. Oh, Haleakala. Build a sandcastle, walk the shoreline. Can I be there? Can I be with you? Look across Kaho'olawe. Oh, McKenna. Nevertheless, never second best. Maui, I love you too. You're always on my mind. Destiny will find. You've made a friend in me, and I'll be yours forever. Lava Valley I have seen, and when I dream of you. See the waterfall flow to the sea. It once was called Pu'uoku Ranch. We drove the cattle, we worked the land, looking over Kaulapapa. Oh, Molokai. Nevertheless, never second best. Molokai, I love you too. You're to Maui, watch the sunset just once. You'll be amazed, watch the stars so brightly shining for you and me. So from the shoreline of this island, can I be there? Can I be with you? Aloha ia oe, oh Maui. Nevertheless, never second best, Maui. I love you too. You're always on my mind. Destiny will find you've made a friend in me, and I'll be yours forever. Forever. Nevertheless, never second best, Maui. I love you too. You're always on my mind. Destiny will find you've made a friend in me, and I'll be yours forever. 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 I'll be yours.
Beautiful, huh? Pu'u o Hoku. I don't remember which album that was on, Lono. I think it was, wow, a few back there. Lono's been prolific over the years, and the last numbers of albums have been in Hawaiian mostly. And what a great guy. He's been a friend for a long time, and really, I think, the thing that I've always really appreciated about these islands, there are beautiful people here. I've now been here half my life. But that's significant because I was everywhere else for the other half. So to have spent all these years here, I really feel like it's been home. Thank you, Maui, for taking me in. And thank you, people, for being so open and responsive. I am looking forward to seeing what happens in these next years. We are at a real crossroads, I think. We have to do things and do them differently than they've been done. And it can be done, I guess you'd say, diplomatically. And I think the biggest problem is that we, as a society, have relied on the government to take care of things, and yet we don't want to pay for them. Somehow, to fix the roads and do this and do that and hire people and do all the rest of that, we'd like it to be done efficiently, and we'd like everything to be current, and we'd like there to be no funny business and decisions made that aren't for the best interest of the people, but you can't please everyone all the time and all the rest of that stuff. But these are important crossroads, and we're going to be the ones that really shape what's coming up. If we don't shape what's coming up, it's going to shape us. And we're seeing that now. We're overwhelmed and overloaded by things that haven't been adequately handled. And now it takes drastic things. Could you imagine? It takes drastic. It's drastic to say, we're going to create more affordable housing. What that means is we are going to find a way to supplement the cost of building that housing so that it can be affordable to the people here. And we have this scale of what we think is affordable. Can you imagine? It's shocking to hear. More than 20 years ago was when purchasing of a house on Maui was in reach of people on Maui that live here and work here. Over the last decades, we have not found a way to build enough to keep things at a point. Why? Because we let other people buy? Well, can't restrict the market here. We're now trying to do it and make changes to existing things where people bought in and the whole world is set up on one way. Well, we're going to change the course because we find we can't build our way out of it. That means we're going to screw up two things to solve this problem. We're going to destroy something that's been working. Yeah, maybe we were pretty nutty in building everything so it didn't have the local people mixed into the middle of Kihei enough, and the prices went high, and vacation rentals, and the prices got so high that people started renting them out for more and more and more, and they had to do, because the cost is so high, they have to find a way to justify how to pay it. We did all that ourselves, Maui. We did ourselves. So let's fix it ourselves. Again, I like to include the very wealthy in our community who could be that equity sharing, construction, and takeout loan program. And, we all these things can happen, but we need effective leadership. And I don't stay close enough in attention to what's going on at the council to really focus on how to do it. But I can tell you, it has to be someone, I think, in the council group and not outside groups, and inside the council, and build a consensus that somehow, in my opinion, is more responsive to the needs of the people than what we hear going on now. It just isn't okay to have so many people in constant crisis about where they're living, how they're going to pay. They're working all the time. The quality of family life is eroded by not having adequate time to spend with your family and loved ones, and all the things that go on with stealing and taking, and because people don't have enough. I've heard people say, after the fire, they kind of expected it, that the thievery would go up. They expected it. And we think that the police, are going to be able to address this without extra arms and legs and eyes. We all have to realize we're part of all that is everything. So we have to step up in all departments, and we start realizing that our lives are participation sport. We can't just come out every 2 years and hope that we elect people that are going to put in programs that are right for us, that'll be affordable, and get enough housing, and everyone will do the right thing. And we need a more conscious and aggressive group in there. That's just all I got to say. There's lots of people in there. I'm so sorry that Kelly King isn't there. I thought that Environmental Economic Committee was really super important and doing good things, and I'd like to really see a lot of changes. But I'm old, and I could run, but I'm starting to realize if we don't get young people in here that step up and speak out more, and we have to know who they are. All of us have to know who they are and support them and make some of these changes. And some of these changes are going to require things of us, the people who aren't elected, more out of our pockets, more out of our thinking about hoarding for later. Maybe we can reinvest and re-energize our island. And maybe we can have parents that can have their kids live here on Maui. Don't have to send them off to the mainland to some new life because there's no quality of thing they can do here, because there's nowhere to live, the costs are too high. You raise your kid to get smart, and then he becomes a pizza server for 25 years because that's the best jobs around. What? I don't mean to take anything away from the pizza servers, and in fact, some of them are making really good money, some of everybody here. We have an alternative economy. No, it's a tourist economy, but we don't have a local supportive economy unless we learn to blend that in a different way than we've been doing. There are a lot of ideas that only require the government to get out of the way. Maybe that sounds really Republican. To me, it sounds very green, very freedom oriented. But it takes people understanding that we can do it. People have to really realize we can do it without that central arm of the government. But that will mean by all of us stepping up and doing good things. I mean, that's really important. None of this can happen unless we all participate as these solutions are developing. We all participate. Otherwise, the world's going to become more buttons, more remote, let everything else do all the work. But then what about us? How are we developing? That has to be integrated and used in a way that makes sense for the continuation of humanity. Right? I hope that's really clearly understood. I don't know if it is, but we're going to be a broken record until we're not anymore available to speak to you. We don't take Hawaii Public Radio funding from the government. Maybe they get money here, but we get it out of the cable bills. That was a good rule. Probably need to get more. Probably need to be able to expand the activities and be able to pay the people here better, commensurate with what a regular outside work job would be. And we need to develop more and more things that we can do. I like to say island-centric. We can develop a lot of things and support a lot of people here in all the things of the world, right here in Maui, and be plenty self-sufficient and more. Well, thank you all for joining me here today. It has been an hour. It ran by for me. And our guest will be here again. It's clearly an oversight because I've known this gentleman a long time, and I know that he would definitely want to be here and talk and be part of our conversation today. So when we do come back, we'll pick him up again. And next week will be a repeat of this show. We have a minute left, maybe a minute 27. I think I'm going to play a little short music thing for you before our credits. Let's see. Oh, I don't know which one's going to be short enough to play. I think I'm going to play this again. I think you need to hear this again.
There is also a longer-term existential threat that will arise when we create digital beings that are more intelligent than ourselves. We have no idea whether we can stay in control. But we now have evidence that if they are created by companies motivated by short-term profits, our safety will not be the top priority. We urgently need research on how to prevent these new beings from wanting to take control. They are no longer science fiction. Thank you. Your Royal Highness.
Isn't that something? Yeah, I think that's really something. Well, thank you for joining us. We're going to cut out a few seconds early, see if we can play another commercial from somebody else. We loved you. We're going to be here next week. In 2 weeks, we'll have another guest. Blessings, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Aloha.